What's up, bookworms? Welcome to episode 95 of the Cantina Book Club podcast, where readers can find interviews with authors of all genres. I'm Megan, self proclaimed content queen, here to bring you insights from the authors themselves. Each week features a Cantina conversation with an author. Sometimes they're returning guests, and sometimes it's someone new. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on an episode. And feel free to browse through existing episodes so that you can watch a previous interview about a book that you've just finished. Just a heads up that I often use adult language to express my feelings towards these authors and their work, and sometimes their work has adult language with adult themes as well. Whether the characters need to get their shit together or I'm encouraging the badass FMC to fuck it all and burn the world down, just please be mindful around listening ears. And be mindful for any books that you might be interested in as well. Recent book releases and books coming out this week. I Could Be Yours by Helena Hunting, that was available on July 10th. I'm a huge fan of hers and I'm so excited to check it out. And I'll probably finish it in a day because it's just like a palate cleanser for me in between some of these more intense reads. And as well as Wayward Girls by Susan Wiggs, that comes out on July 15th. For those of you who might have missed it, my interview with Susan Wiggs came out last week. So once you've finished that book, checked it out, you can go ahead and check out the episode, the interview with Susan Wiggs. It'll be there when you're ready. Today's episode features a chat with Jade Presley talking about her wildly successful Why Choose romantasy novel, The Never List. That book is available now. Jade and I got so sucked into what romantasy and what draws her to the genre, her life as a hybrid author, because she's both traditionally published and indie published, and learning about all of her research and the favorite things that she found out, stuff like that, when she was just building this crazy world, and what readers can expect from the sequel. But without further ado, here is Jade Presley. Today we've got Jade Presley here. We're talking about her book, The Never List. That book is available now. Jade, thanks so much for joining me today. This book was so cool and so fun and sexy and like world building. And I loved getting to know the characters and how you've created the situation that they're all in and the environment and all that good stuff. I'm excited to dig a little bit deeper today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So to get started, can you give like a summary of the book? And I don't know, the book has been out, so we'll try to be spoiler free though, but it's like just give a summary of the book so that people can follow along with the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, The Never List is a why choose romantasy, which basically means that our female main character has four male love interests and she does not have to choose one. And in The Never List, it just so happens to be set in an entirely new realm with part god princes who are searching for their fated mate in order to restore balance to their kingdom. And she is the last person that wants to be their mate and ends up getting chosen at this event that she's at illegally. And so it all explodes from there.
I know that was such a fun it was just I'm just the kind of person who's just, oh, things are getting messy. Yes. Because it's so perfect. Because of course she didn't want to, she's there. Yeah, she's there. She's not supposed to be there. And she has no interest in whatever is going on. But of course, she can't just be left alone. She can't be, nothing can go as planned, as so to speak. But
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I'm the type of person that enjoys that type of stuff.
Oh, me too.
It's so
I love
funny.
it.
Yeah. So before we get into the good stuff, can you share your background? Because sorry, I don't know if you have any, if this is your debut novel, you don't have any other published works, correct? Or,
I do actually. So I'm a hybrid.
okay.
I'm a hybrid author, and this is a pen name. But under Jade Presley, I do have a self-published series, which is also a Why Choose Romantasy, and it's
Okay, I
complete.
think I did see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, when I was like digging in and like seeing what you had going on. So that no, that is so cool. Yeah, like how did you what draws you to the genre? How did you bring this story to the world? Like any I want to like just explore how your previous experiences compared to this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's funny is I under my real name, Molly Ely, I write young adult paranormal romance and for teenagers. And I just wanted to do a passion project. I had just discovered why I choose and fell in love with it. I was reading Katie Robert and Nikki St. Crow, like the greats of the why choose genre, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, I want to do a passion project, and it might be silly, and nobody might read it. And I was like, I'm a huge Marvel nerd, and so it was like, I think it was 2.5 years ago, maybe three at this point. I'm losing track of time. I was like, I'm just going to write this Marvel inspired Why Choose. If we could have Loki and Thor and Captain America and Iron Man all together, like just for fun and see if anybody likes it. If not, it's going to heal part of my soul.
There you go.
And so I self-published that under Jade Presley because again, I didn't want my teenage
Yeah,
readers to accidentally click into a why choose. I just didn't want those emails. I didn't want that
yeah,
responsibility because if
yeah,
it's up to them, if they need to consensually find it, that's on them, but it won't be on me. And so I
yeah.
created this pen name and I put that book out there and there was an audience for it. There were readers like me who were nerdy girls who liked spice and just wanted to escape and not have to have that decision fatigue of oh go no who she's going to end up with. She just gets to have fun. Like the main girl just gets to have fun and gets to be lavish with attention. And so it was really fun and that's where it started. And then I was working with my real name editor and we were coming up on a new project and they were like, you have a pen name, what? And they saw what I did and they were like, we're looking for something like this, do you have a story? And I did have a story. Riley, the main character from the Neverlist, had been talking to me for a while because, of course, I was like on deadline, so she was talking to me from a different story. And she showed me this event where she was not supposed to be at, and she ends up getting chosen, and she had a lot to say about it. And so I pitched that, and it became my first traditionally published Jade Presley book. And so that is probably where the debut vibes come in because it is my first like hardback traditionally published Jade Presley book and it's definitely launching this new series and it's just been amazing. I love finding all these why choose readers. Like it's awesome to see and also to have a lot of people who've never read the genre before are being introduced to it because like it's at Target, which still blows my mind.
Yeah.
And they find it and they're like, I never knew what this was, and now I love it. And so it's just been phenomenal, really. It's just been a fun ride for sure.
Yeah, and I am new. I think my first White Shoes that I've read was probably it was less than 2 years ago. I wanna say yeah, it was definitely less than 2 years ago, but I think it's just been more the conversation has definitely started. Like, it's getting more where it's okay to have this guilty pleasure and to
Yeah.
be into this woman who just she's amazing and special and badass and sexy and attractive and got a good head on her shoulders that and, her love interests are fine with each other. Like,
Yes.
they're okay with it, and I'm like I think one of the first ones I read was Emily Rath's Pucking Around,
Oh yeah.
and it was just a whim, like, I had an audiobook credit, so that was really that was honestly hilarious because it's with the audio, the narrators, it's a whole different animal, and then my friend, she is self-published, and she does Why Choose, and then I was like that was like, "Okay, now I'm getting into it because it was there was less plot and, like, more romance, so she asked me to beta read, and I was like writing notes and she's, "What about this? What about that?" She's, "Oh, I'm gonna address that in the next book because it's a series." And I'm like,
Right.
"Okay, that's okay." 'Cause it took me a minute till once I understood it and the whole, like, the situation of it, it was basically, like, the basics of it, then I was kinda like, "Okay, like, now I can respect it for what it is versus like what is going on?" But I'm right there with you because I got into Marvel because when I first started dating my husband, God, like 15 years ago, I feel like that's when a lot of like when Marvel Cinematics, the studios really started picking up and they started just had that formula down and they started releasing hit after hit and then they considered they started on the crossovers and stuff and I just remember, I think I was, like, drunk texting, like, my friends and watching it, and I'm like, "I think I would be okay if it was them." Like, the Avengers, I think that would be the scenario where I would welcome a situation like that, and it was just
That's
like so I
exactly
that's
where I was at.
Yep, that was resonating with me for sure, and yeah, no, I love the fact that, yeah, you just I think your story, it just was the right time for it because everyone is, like, loving the romantasy right now, and also the wide choose is gaining such popularity and acceptance, where it's yeah, like, it's okay if you like something a little different, if you like something out there, like, these types of relationships exist, it's just where the conversation is happening, and so no, I'm right there with you, and that's why I think I appreciated about more so about your book was that the world it's set up
where she has to have all of them. It's set up where all of them have to agree on one. They have that's the point, is they have to find the one to that's welcome for all of them. And it's just it fits into the world perfectly versus a hockey romance where it's just, oh, XYZ is okay with this, or that I can't choose, and okay, it's okay, we'll work it out, you don't have to, versus, oh, so and so, they're used to sharing women, and that's fine too. But I love that yours was like, it wasn't just a trope for the trope's sake. It
Right.
was like, no, this is part of the world building, this is part of the environment, it's part of the background, the history of your story that you built. Yeah, no, I definitely appreciated that, and I love that for you, that your story is coming into the world is ready for it. And it was like a pleasant surprise for you. You're like, "Oh, wait a second. People are into this now, or they're warming up to it at least." Because
Yeah.
it was done really well. And I loved visiting all their territories, and I imagine having them developing different kind of like personalities for them was so interesting and fun. I imagine was challenging for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's incredibly important too. So I am a character driven writer just in general. It's just my default setting. I always see and hear the characters first. And so I'll do really in depth sketches. But for Why Choose, especially, I find it incredibly important to make sure I know each character, especially my main five, like very well before I even start writing because I need them to be distinctly different, especially the love interest. Like, because we don't want the same man every time. If we're going to
No.
have a white shoes, we want all of our flavors. And so you have to sit down and really, get to know them, put them in situations that might not happen in the book, but just so I know their voice, I know their reactions, I know what vibe they have, and I know how they're going to play against our female lead. That was incredibly important to make sure that like they are appealing to and satisfying some very internal desire of hers because I think that's just one of the beautiful things about the genre. And so that was what I started with for sure.
Yeah, because we're all most, I would say 90% of human beings are multidimensional. And so there's totally a reasonable expectation, or it's not far-fetched that one person, one flavor will scratch one itch, but you're multifaceted. So the parts of you that aren't necessarily fulfilled by one person, as wonderful as they are, as perfect for you as each other as you can be, there's going to be other people out there, other personalities out there that can connect with you on a different level. And that's like kind of the beauty. Yeah, exactly. Like the why choose is just like fulfilling like those parts that not it's not expected for one person to meet all those needs. And within a perfect world they would, but then that's what fictional men are for, because you can just
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the beauty of it is you get to have all these different experiences through art, which has always been the case. And this genre just makes it so fun and it's so female centric and female empowered and it's great being able to write a sex forward character and not have to like worry about anything. And also just for it to be a fantasy to where I can create this world where it's completely normal and we don't have to go through the whole like, oh no, this is taboo. It's no, not here. It's not in Luma thing. It's
yeah.
normal and we're all ready to go and that's something that
It's like an expectation of everyone who goes into that party to be potentially chosen. Like,
absolutely.
like, they know, but I love how you touched on so many layers of society like that, where so many of them, they don't expect to be chosen, but they're only there because, or maybe they don't want to be, but they're there because of the benefits of just that invitation or that charm, that pendant that they get. That makes so much sense. Like, some people would just be opportunistic about it and not really be ready for that, or they just have no interest in that, or we could go into class, you build a world where there's very a lot of parallels. There's like oppression, and there's inequality and privilege of the elite or of the wealthy or of their classism, socioeconomic status. So it totally makes sense that some people would just be like meeting looking for that, like there some of the, what is it, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's like they don't that's not all met. They don't have time to go fantasize or imagine a life where they have 4 mates. It's no, I this simple thing will get me wealth to feed my family, or to get this, or even just to elevate their status in a world where that is they covet that because of what it brings them. And I loved all the layers that you added to it. It was almost like no stone left unturned.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad. Yeah, that was definitely. The class system, that's something that Riley came to me with. She was very loud about it. She was very like, this is not okay. I don't agree with this. I'm fighting against the system, but I don't feel like I'm doing much. And she definitely had a strong voice with that, and it just kept going from there. It was just this constant thing.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, and it was yeah, I imagine there you go.
Sorry, that's my wolf.
It's like, "Hey, am I going too?" Like
Sorry, that's my dog. She's attached.
No, I know, I have one too, and she if she we if it was just me and her, she would be down here just I don't know, I'm like, I'm not the pack leader, but I'm the only person she follows around religiously. It's ridiculous. So I get it. So there's a couple different things I wanna touch on with the layers and the society and the rules that you set for your world building. I'm curious as to any research that you had to do for this story because you do I know a lot of it is fantasy, but you had to explore different territories, different climates, different, like, styles of living, and you base them off of, like, different kinda like different lifestyles and stuff like that. I kinda wanna explore what came off on the top of your head, what did you need to search to get more authentic, like, what stands out as, like, something that maybe was fascinating to you that you learned while doing your research?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, Riley came in and was talking about this hierarchy. And so I started there and I started researching royal monarchies throughout history, like all different kinds. And of course, there's a wealth of information about the United Kingdom, that royal monarchy. So, when I was digging into that, I did find that they used to keep really extensive lists, and I don't know why this just sparked that creativity in me, but they had all kinds of lists, like important birthdays and like offenders and who's gonna have the most crops this year or whatever. They just had tons of lists, and I started thinking about, oh my gosh, what if there was like this list where it affected your class, something your family did in the past would affect like where you could get in life or whatever. And so that's where the Never list came from, and it really fit Riley's vibe. And so I did do a ton of research on different rules and the wealth and the elite in history, and then combined it with modern day wealthy, and it gave those vibes to Lumethist. And then for the other territories, since it was a fantasy, I started with the princes first and got their vibes. And then I went out and researched just fun cities that I thought would be cool to have in a realm. And Cal definitely had this artistic vibe, this very cinnamon roll vibe. And so I was like, man, his city's probably more like Paris, and just very cultural and loving and just fun. And then for Jax, he was just all edges and all sass for me when I was digging out his character. And so I was like, he's gonna have more of a Vegas vibe. And Pierce's Emerald City was based off of London, and I did a lot of research on Santorini for the Sapphire Cove and just like how that kind of tight knit community would be near the coast. And it was so much fun. I love that part of the process because you can create anything you want, and starting with the princes and then getting their territories around them really helped shape the world for sure.
That's so cool. Yeah, 'cause I know, I was like you could definitely set the tone, but I loved how it was just like I imagine it was tricky preparing the reader, like, "Okay, we're gonna go to the next guy now and his next territory," and you have to, like but luckily, like, with all the world building, like, the prepping that you do and the background info, you set them up for that, so where it was like, "Okay, it's Pierce's turn or it's Axel's turn now," and just, like, I loved all of that. I loved how it fit their vibe, it fit their personality, and, of course, opportunities for Riley to ruffle feathers
Yes.
and to prove like she's different and know that she's got a shot and she could be the one. And yeah, I loved that. That was so cool because just the activities that they do with what are they almost like carriages, but like motorcycles, but not really. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I was trying to like picture that in my head. I'm like, this sounds really fun, but also like terrifying. I don't
Right.
know. Like, what's the speed cap on one of those bad boys?
No, I love that too. That's what's so much fun about fantasy, because you can be like, okay, I want a motorcycle, but let's make it fantasy and just have
Yeah.
a really good time with it. And so that's always a lot of fun. And yeah, I loved having the separate time, so you get to really get your time with that character. And it's almost like this safe space where you're like allowed to fall in
Yeah.
love with each one, and then by the end it's okay, now you've got them all and you've collected them all and you win, you're a winner.
Like Infinity Gauntlet. Like what?
Exactly.
There you go. That's hilarious. Yeah, because I just loved I don't know, I think if we'll get into it, was there any of the 4 of them or maybe you had a favorite guy, but the territory, a different territory was your favorite. I want to explore which guy like hooked you the most, and maybe which territory you had the most fun, you got sucked into the most.
Yeah, definitely. So it's so hard. Like I've been asked this question so many times about who's my favorite, and I don't have a favorite. I can't because they're all so different. I love hearing your guys' favorite, like the reader's favorite, but it's so funny because when they were coming to me, Cal was the easiest to talk to me. Like he did not give me any trouble. I know that sounds crazy, but that's just how the process works. He just loved to
But
talk to
that
me.
fits
He was
him.
so sweet. He was so sweet. He was so kind. He was like, "Hey, I got you." And then Jax was my hardest, like naturally, like it's just him. And it took me almost 500 pages to get him to come out of his shell and talk to me. So yeah, I can't pick a favorite. I think it's like I've always explained it like it depends on my vibe. Who do I need in that moment? If I need somebody to just make me laugh all day, I'm going with Axel. Like we're gonna go have a
Yeah.
great time and he's just gonna crack me up. Or if I need some really like dangerous, edgy, adrenaline rush stuff, we're going with Jax. If I need that intellectual, deep emotional connection, we're going with Pierce. And if I just need to be pampered like a princess, we're going with
Yep.
Cal. So I think it really depends on how I wake up that day. Like today I could really be used to be pampered, so I probably would say Cal.
Yeah.
But the Emerald Wood is my absolute favorite territory, and I just think I've been to London, and so when I structured it, like if London, but make it fantasy, combined with this like Sherwood Forest or whatever, like combine those two together. And I love those vibes and afternoon tea and like being able to just go sit and drink tea and eat snacks all day while you read your book. Like that is so appealing to me. And so I
Me,
love
that sounds like a perfect day,
right?
yeah.
And so I think that's something that calls to my like reader introvert heart. And so I love that. I feel very like cozy in that realm, in that city. And so I would say that's probably my favorite territory. That's easier for me to say than the princes for sure. But I do
Yeah,
love
right.
them all. They all give you something just like the princes in whatever need you're like or whatever craving you're having.
Yeah, I feel like I'm right there with you. I think my default setting would be the emerald wood, but then I think that if I wanted like a day, but maybe not such a fast-paced day, I think, yeah, I would go to, what was it, Ruby Air.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd ever be I think I'd be in the mood for Jax's territory maybe, like, once in a great while, where I'm like, "No, I'm in that mood today." Like,
Yeah.
and then Axel, yeah, I would just be like, "Okay, beach day," you know?
Yes, exactly. And I think that's like
Yeah,
such an ultimate fantasy because you've really got all those like vibes and it's which one do I want to do today? How fun is that? And so
it
yeah,
really
that's what I
yeah.
love about Lumithus is you've got those core ones, but then obviously you've got the others too working around it that make those possible and that's where all the fun intricacies come in and yeah, I had a great time and I'm into book 2 right now and so I'm really having a fun time living there. That's pretty much what I'm living and breathing right now, which is great.
Oh, nice, and that's, like, the ultimate, like, little gift to yourself. You're like, "Oh, yay, I have an excuse to get back into this," and,
Yes.
it's like the people want it.
I know, that's been really fun too while I'm writing it and then hearing theories and things, and I'm just having to be like, "I can't say anything.
Yep,
I'm just gonna go back to writing now. Thank you."
yep.
Like
I know when I speak to authors and, like, I do try to also not speculate too much to them because I don't wanna put you guys into that situation, but there's been a couple where they're like, "Nope, lips are sealed." I'm like,
yeah, you
like,
can't it's
because 'cause
hard
I'll
because you
say
don't
like,
wanna
"Well,
give it
this
away.
person's" yeah, because 'cause I'll be like, "Oh, this person's sus," and I was like, "I don't know, I'm not gonna say that," and they're like, I will not either."
Yeah, because you still want it to be a surprise and so what I can say I do, but normally I'm like there's been some questions where I'm like, "I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about."
And you also don't want it to influence your writing, right? If you don't
Right.
wanna listen to these theories or people, like, asking questions and you're like, "Oh."
Wait, should I have gone that way? Yeah,
Yeah,
that is also tough, but it's
yeah.
been great, and I love hearing them. And I'm a big plotter, so I already have it plotted, so I know where we're going. It's just the only way I can operate and make hold myself accountable. So the fan theories aren't gonna steer us any which way,
Yeah.
but it is always fun to hear.
Yeah, no, I bet, especially when there's so many it's not just one love story, it's 4 love stories. And then it's almost like I really appreciate also the friendship that you developed amongst the 4 princes, god princes. It's very clear that they care about each other and they have affection towards each other. They're gonna be there for each other and because they have this camaraderie and this bond where the 4 of them, nobody will understand what on what they've been through other than the four of them. And that just creates that bond and that friendship and that like intimacy, platonic or not. That's just like it's just like I can't put myself in the headspace of like just willingly in their mind where it's, oh yeah, they look good together. Or they, oh, I picture us both with her. It's I'm not gonna I can't really imagine that, but I appreciate like that friendship with them and they're open about it and they explore it and they also practice some restraint too. Like again, like I'll probably be all over the place, but like with consent is so big with them and they are very much no, don't judge a book by its cover. I don't know what you've heard. You probably heard a lot about us, but probably not true. Maybe some of it is. And I loved how surprised she was because then as a reader we get to be surprised with her. We get to be on this journey with her of being like, "Oh, this assumption's probably wrong, but we'll find out." Or later on we discover, oh no, they can be ruthless like that. Like they
Yeah.
it's like they had good reason to
Yeah.
act to do those things. So yeah, I appreciated that the bond and the friendship that you got with the four of them outside of Riley for sure.
I'm so glad. Yeah, that was incredibly important to me to have emotionally mature and educated men. That's just something that I just naturally gravitate towards because, like, insecurity and toxic masculinity, it just has no business being in a Y choose for me. I love a little jealousy every now and then, but to where it gets like it's just toxic, I'm like, we have enough of that in real life. We don't really need to do that in our fantasy. At least
Yeah,
not in
yeah.
these like that I've if it naturally came up, I'd probably write it, but like these guys just were definitely I love showing characters that male characters that can be supportive and emotional and see like the flaws in their best friends. Everybody's aware of Jax's trust issues and his self-loathing that he does because of how he grew up and then everybody knows about Pierce's trust issues and they work with that and they support each other and I find that very attractive, and I felt like Riley felt that was attractive too, and so that was
It
really
is
important or important to me to
regulated emotions are
it
hot.
is.
Yes.
It is. It's actually, oh wow, that was like some super emotional regulation and emotional maturity. And it's like, I'm digging that because it's like, I feel like,
Yeah.
again, it's all about feeling safe. And consent is it shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't have to be said as much as it is. It should just be like a normal, this is
Yeah.
how we operate. But it is incredibly important to me for a wide choose, especially. I wanted there to be clear, like, choice and consent every time. Like, I think that again, because she is already having her world turned upside down. She has this huge secret that could get her in prison for life or killed, or her friends could be affected. Like she's carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders in a very quick amount of time. I didn't want her to have to worry about consent as well. And so, luckily, these characters, the male characters, are all for that. And it wasn't
Mhm.
like a learning curve at all. It was like, no, this is what we do. Like, they're shocked that she's shocked by it. And then it's sad because you can reflect on where her trust issues come from and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love these guys so much because of that. It's yeah.
Yeah, and you set the tone to give the reader like an understanding because right when we first meet her, she's in a situation where you could tell she's had to um give herself up to keep herself safe and potential trigger warnings. But yeah, it's you set that up where it's gonna be that refreshing feeling is gonna hit. It's gonna hit home when it does happen. And amongst the most powerful, arguably the most or second most powerful group of men in that world, and they don't have to insist on consent. They don't have to give her a choice. They're obviously they're under no obligation, but that's very much how they operate. That's like under their policy. And but it's also hot because it's like, why would they know their worth. They're like, why would we want a woman who's not interested in us? Like,
Yeah.
why would we want to pine for someone who's not enthusiastic and not curious and not attracted and not open minded and not open to that or who's just closed off and is no thank you. I don't, it's why I love that part of their personalities where they understand and they're like, it's no sweat off their back. They're just worried about saving the world. Like they're just it's
Right.
this is a part that they have to play, but they're not about to force a person to play that part as well. They're about like, no, like this is if we want a relationship to develop, I want to know that you want me like I want you. And
Yeah.
that's just adds to that attraction and that appeal to all four of them. And I love how you made Pierce just like that was his signature. It's like, "Hello, darling."
Yeah.
Like
I'm telling you, he's like my British boy, even though it's not British. Like he's just
yeah.
like that. I just love that. I'm a sucker for Darling, and so that definitely, and his Emerald Wood being based off of London, it all came together like that. He's very refined and
Yeah.
intelligent, and that's just how he came to me. But yeah, I just
I
love
love it because yeah, intelligence is no, exactly, like, intelligent men, they don't feel the need to, like, get emotional, they have a good head on their shoulders, and they evaluate a situation, like, you nailed him down, they evaluate a situation before they jump to conclusions, or they take a step back, or that's
yeah.
just in their nature, just to they don't yell, they don't raise their voice, they don't, like he's just, "Oh, okay, goodbye, darling, good seeing you again," like,
Yeah, he's
'cause he
chill. I love him. He's just such a he's so chill because he's had to go through so much and learn so much that he's just like, this is not gonna rattle me. He
yeah.
rarely gets rattled, which I love that. And I understand sometimes we do get rattled and we can't regulate, and that's also displayed in the group, which I love. I love having all these different juxtapositions,
Balance,
and then
yeah.
her having to adapt and her being able to complement each one is a huge thing because that takes a lot of effort and work and understanding and connection between them, all four of them or five of them. So it's a balance for sure while writing for sure, but it's
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, because you gotta find how she fits into it, how her powers and her upbringing sets her up and explaining how why she is the one. Like, she's different, she knows how to show it's also like she's got, like, little anxiety about the whole situation
yeah.
because she gotta keep her cool. She has to, like, keep her emotions in check because Jax is onto her. Like, he's totally onto her because that's what he does.
Hmm.
And also, she's gotta play the field, and she's gotta work the game, and everything that she's gone through has set her up to be able to do that successfully, even though every minute up until a certain point, every minute she's
Exactly. Which I think we've all been in situations like that where we're like, we have
Yeah.
no business. Like, why am I in this room? How did I get here? And having that feeling of, no, wait, I can do this. Like, just having, when you finally come to that moment where we're in it now, we got to do, I feel like that's something very inherent in female identifying people. It's like, we just got to make the best of what we can and we got to go. We got to get through it. And so I think that is really a relatable aspect about her and just how she's, I guess this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's see.
She's imposter syndrome, fake it till you make it
Absolutely.
in Lumithist, yeah,
Yeah.
like, in romantasy.
It is, and she does it. She has all because it's again all of most of these previous potentials who went before her had training, had formal training growing up. They were from royal cities, and they were among the wealthy. They didn't feel that imposter syndrome, and so funny, like her biggest insecurity turns out to be like the whole reason why she jives so well with them, and so. I love that about her. When she finally gets to that moment where she's, oh no, wait, I'm actually supposed to be here. Who knew? Who would have thought? So I loved that.
I know. I really appreciated her because she is realistic in that regard, even though she's like had to undergo like experiences that I can't, for me at least, I cannot relate to. Most people cannot relate to, but you're absolutely right. Like, she is still so relatable in general because like she is a woman who's has had to survive, and she's got, found family because and she's got like a loss, and she's trying to figure out what happened, and because she needs answers, and she's going to do what she has to do to try to find those answers, and also she's questioning herself, she's doubting herself, but then she's having fun with it, like she's
Right? She's like, I'm
every time
here.
she goes and yeah, she's visiting a territory, and she's deliberately not choosing to dress in that territory's colors. That was hilarious to me. And they were all like, big part of them loved it too. They were like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Like, "Okay, this one's different. This one," because that was such a defining characteristic that kind of was such an indicator that like, no, this one, okay, she's gonna make things interesting, and we'll see. Let's see what she's up to. Let's see what she's got. Because I imagine the whole time they can't afford to get their hopes up, understandably, but
Yeah.
then, yeah, what that there's probably just so many parts of her personality where it made me giggle. I was like, "Okay," like
I know. I love her so much. I'm always like, I wish I could be as cool as her because she's just sassy and she is who she is. And I think that's she came to me like that. Like she's not ashamed of who she is, which I love that. She was very like what else are they going to do to me? Like, I've already been in this lower class my whole life. They took my parents. I don't know where my sister is. She's got these two girlfriends that basically give her life, which I feel is very relatable too. We need our girlfriends to
Yes.
see us for who we are and love us for who we are, that in a way men can't, or romantic partners can't. Like, you need those other relationships. And so I felt like that was very relatable too. And yeah, she just, I love her. She's fun.
Yeah,
She's
I
super
could
fun.
see why I could see why she didn't leave you alone. She
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, tell my story. You could do
She
it.
did. And it was,
You got
I was
this."
on major deadline too, and I was like,
Yeah.
girl, I'll get to you in just a minute. I probably was like jotting down notes while typing. It was just like, it was wild. It
And she's
always
like,
happens
"No."
like that. Yeah.
Hey, you can't, yeah. I imagine that's like tricky for authors where it's, yeah, there's a character where a new series like might flourish out of a character in a series that they started with because they wouldn't leave them alone. But I love that. And I love also where it's you didn't plan it that way. Authors don't plan, like I've had authors speak like before I knew it, they were a dog owner. They just the dog felt right. Like
Yeah, it is.
it's just stuff like that.
It's amazing how that happens. Yeah, that's something that happened with Mirren. That I didn't plot like this awesome, stubborn, motherly handmaiden. Like, when I plotted, I was like, insert cool handmaiden, but that was it. And then Mirren walked onto the page very much, this is how I'm going to be. And so that was fantastic because I love her now, and she's somebody who is very important
She's
to the
great.
story. And I didn't
She is. She's
know.
a real one too.
She
She's a real
she
one.
is.
She's looking out for her and you can't get anything past her.
You
She's like,
can't. I love it.
and she connects all the dots almost. Like she's almost a little bridge. I love Maren. She was just kind of no nonsense and she was like a gap, like a little bridging the gap to like connecting the dots between the potentials and the four of them. Cause it became really clear that they were all special to her and
Yeah.
she had their back. I loved it, especially when it
Yeah.
came to Jax. She was like, "What's your next move, Riley?" And she's helped me get ready.
This is like her baby, man. I'm telling you, and it's funny because yeah, she came onto the page just like in that scene. I was writing that scene, and normally I would have just been like, okay, this is just the background character. We just need her in there moving stuff around. And she was like, no. And she also came with like knowledge that I didn't even know, which was great. She unlocked a lot of the backstory for me about
Coming in
lots of
clutch.
different things. Yeah, she did. So I have a very special place in my heart for her because she told me a lot about the Kings that I didn't know. And I know that sounds wild, but that's just how it happens. It's supernatural and I love it. That's one of the things I love about writing is the surprises that you don't think you're going to have because I'm writing it, but it's just like this
Yeah,
magical thing that happens and she rocks. She's
yeah,
definitely
she's
helpful to me a lot.
awesome. I love it. Yeah, because you know that you need to get these plot points in there, that you need to have some way to facilitate either the world building or the history or the relationships. And you just didn't know that she was going to be the one to help you do that. So that
Yeah.
was really cool. I love that. I love that she was just like, nope, I'm
Yeah,
going
she was
to,
like, "This is who I am, and I've got you, and you're gonna deal with it."
yeah,
Basically, just like she is. You were going to put me in here, and that's it. Like she could have
yeah.
her own handbook. I swear. It's super
She was
cool.
hilarious because she was like, "Oh, here we go again."
Yeah, super. She's yeah, super annoyed. She's been through it so many times and had to deal with so many different varieties of personalities. Like she's just by this time she's jaded. She's over it. She just wants the best for these men that she cares for, and yeah, it's just
Yeah, I could totally see that too because it's I would imagine with the 4 of them, you can't help but look out for them after seeing it time and time again and just being like, you gotta they have their guard up, but they can't always afford to keep their guard up, but she
for
can. So
sure.
she
Yeah. Oh yeah, she does.
yeah.
She does.
I love it. I love all the characters that even the slimy ones, even their
Yeah.
fathers, the kings. That's the part of me that comes in. It's okay, let's get messy. Look at you assholes, like slimy
They are.
characters, and just really testing Riley and testing all of them and the readers. Yeah, at least for me, I was like, okay, no, now I understand where they stand and their part to play. But it's also like they're still mysterious because it's like they've got motives that we don't know 100% about yet, and like how there's a couple things we haven't even touched on. So one of the things I want to explore is like how you navigate towards kind of like the triggering content, like the sensitive topics and themes of not just class disparity and domestic violence against women, but also the rebellions and like these groups that are just constantly like randomly attacking people, and they're not just shaking things up, they're like hurting people and they're destroying property, and there's all that and all just the kinks in power and the status quo, or they don't want to give up the status quo. They don't want to give up their power. And I kind of want to, again, if you, if we're approaching on book 2 territory, don't just make that known. But yeah, I want to explore like how you navigate the potential triggering content and sensitive themes. And did you have to get in the zone and get out of the zone? I hope you're taking care of your mental well-being when you have to get in the zone and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely it's not something that I like ever intend to. I don't sit down and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to do some triggering content today." But it becomes supernatural to the story. I can feel it coming. And like with the opening of the book, like I knew that from the beginning was going to be a very intense scene because we were dealing with Riley's current reality, which is not very good. Like she's an Ashlander, which is a shunned city, lower class, never going to be able to get out of it just because of something her ancestors did a long time ago. And she's missing her core family, and she's in a really bad situation. And she got into that situation because she was lied to. And I think that's something that's super relatable. I think we've all had to sometimes laugh when we felt unsafe, which is sad. Like that's a relatable experience, but I feel like a lot of women can say, "Oh yeah, I've been in that situation where I've had to smile more, or I've had to laugh at a joke that I didn't find funny." And she came to me with that, and it was hard. That scene was hard. There's a scene with Badel that was very hard to write where he crosses lines. He crosses my consent line, like he doesn't have any care or regard for any other human being at all. And so those are very hard scenes to write, but I also feel like they're very important because they are real. Even though we're in a fantasy, these are situations that happen all the time. And because they happened naturally in this plot and to this character, it would be almost like a disservice if I didn't get into it, even if it does hurt, because it is hard to write. Like it is definitely a day where it's like it's darker in my office. I'm feeling more heavy because I feel like you do draw on your own experiences, past experiences, like certain things that have happened like that. And so it brings up a lot of your own trauma, and that can even happen while reading. And so that's why there are those trigger warnings. But I do my best to I'll meditate after, and I'll try to do a reset, and like also like focus on gratitude and everything I'm grateful for that day to help counterbalance the darkness. But yeah, I do feel like I can't shy away from them. I got to go towards the hurt in order to make sure it's authentic and real. And I definitely try to make sure I don't put anything that isn't absolutely necessary. Like I don't want to be gratuitous with it just for shock factor's sake, just
Yeah.
because again, so I don't want anybody to be uncomfortable while reading. I want them to be able to be related, be very I relate to this, and almost like healing in a way, if to know you're not alone. And so
Yeah. Oh, I
that's
love
kind of
that.
how
That's
I
so
approach
important
it.
because it is like you want to be authentic and in order to be authentic, you have to cross that line. You have to explore your own feelings and your own thoughts and your own experiences absolutely 100% to just to connect to the reader, and exactly how you said, not to do it just for the shock factor or not to exploit it, but to like it makes sense and it fits in the story and this is why. And it's a way for you to connect to the world and connect to Riley and her experiences as the reader. No, I 100% I'm right there with you. That's why like when I like to ask authors that like how do you navigate that, and some of them are like, well, it doesn't really bother me, I go for it. But others are you were like, yeah, I just get in there and I try my best to get out of it. And so it's everybody's process is different as far as
Yeah.
writing is concerned, and I imagine reading it their process is different too, because that's why it's like you have your content warnings. It could be like a prep, it could be a
Mhm.
caution, or for some reason it's a shopping list. Like for
Absolutely.
some readers, they're just like, no, this is great, let's go.
And I
And
love that.
yeah.
I love, and that's what I love about books and reading in general. It appeals to so many different needs, desires, and wants, all these exciting things. And again, it can be very healing in all kinds of ways, even with the dark romance. Like it can be very healing, and I feel like it's a very misunderstood genre sometimes because
Yeah.
there are again, if you've lived it, it's I don't know, you're taking control. You're in control. You're in a safe space as a
Yes.
reader, And it can be very gratifying to go through these experiences. Like, again, even writing these characters and that scene, I won't spoil it, but when you get to the scene with the ex again later on in the book, it's very gratifying. It feels good to have had that moment, for Riley to have had that moment. And it's like we all wish we could have had that moment at some point. We didn't get it, but now we feel like we've gotten it. We've gotten our
Yeah.
justice. So,
Exactly, and that was a turning point to prove herself to them too. Oh, no, this
mhm.
is a specific referable example incident where she's in it. Like, she's in it.
Yeah.
She's fully and she's proven to them that, again, trying to be spoiler free to just be like, "No, I don't touch them." It's and I loved it. I loved it. I was like, "Boom, there it is." Like,
I'm
there
so
the
glad. I'm so glad. I loved it too. I felt very like she took her power back. I love that feeling for her.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It was like she killed a few birds with that with one stone, so to speak.
Yeah, she did.
So I love to ask this. I'm gonna throw this at you. It's a two-parter. We touched on it a little bit. What were the most challenging parts to write? What were the most enjoyable parts to write?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the most challenging clearly were the very triggering scenes. Any scene with Riley feeling just not enough. That's always hard because I think that's something that we all struggle with at random times, not feeling like we're measuring up to whatever expectation we put on ourselves usually. So those scenes were always like the most challenging for sure. Any scene with Baydell was always hard for me. But my favorite ones, like I can't lie, I love writing the steamy scenes. Those are always so much fun for me because they are so challenging. I because I'm not an artist. I wish I was an artist, but I have to, especially with group scenes, I have to write. I have to do stick figures
I was gonna say, do you have
to
Barbie
map it
dolls that
out.
you have to like maneuver?
I know. That's what everybody's been telling me. Everybody's been saying I need to get those artist dolls that are like wooden. I need to get 5 of those and just figure it
Yeah.
out and do a whole series on it, which I probably will. I'm in the middle of a move, but once I get to my new place in an office, I'm gonna get those dolls. But yeah, I have to draw stick figures, but I don't know. There's something just so much fun about writing those. I don't know if it's because like it's just going to be fun. There's not I don't have to worry about like a battle or an enemy
Yeah.
or plot development. I just have to worry about the Riley's attention and desires and needs being met, and that's fun to me. That's so much fun, and it's always fun to be like, okay, who's going to give her this? Who's going to do this
Yeah.
for her? All different ways, like intellectually, physically, emotionally. Like it's so fun to play with that. So yeah, those are my favorite scenes to write.
I don't blame you. That's romance sells for a reason. We eat that shit up. There's a reason why women are what 80% of publishing power, like publishing dollars. It's awesome and ridiculous. But no, it's a guilty pleasure. We're all humans. It's what it goes back to like naked apes. Like we see skin and it's kind of, oh, what is that? And you can't like the eye and the mind is just drawn to that. And it's like a human thing. It's like, don't make it weird. Don't shame.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. It's just you're just maybe going out there a little bit by adding more partners and having that be like a law like a dedicated like serious relationship with multiple partners. It's not just a one-time thing. It's no, we're gonna build something here. But no, that's what thing that I appreciate about the romance genre and how popular open door scenes have gotten. I don't like to use the word like clean because it's a slut. It's like nothing about sex is
Yeah.
clean. It's closed door, fade to black versus, and there's like the whole spectrum of it, right? There's a whole range of what readers like and what they don't like, and that's why again why it's fun to explore that to see. Oh, I'm not into this, but I guess I could see why people are into it. It's just I'm not one to judge people, but I'm like how we were saying like dark romance. I've my friend who I was beta reading for, that's what she likes. It's like Motorcycle Club, and I'm like, "That's great. I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna root for you. I will buy copies of your books, even though you gave me to them for free, but I will buy them and I will have you sign them, like so that I can support you. Like I will always support you." But I'm like, I don't know. But she knows it too. She's like, "I appreciate you because I know this isn't your thing, but I so appreciate you like what you're doing." I'm like, "Of course." So it's like, but I understand the appeal. Like I understand the appeal. I understand the danger of it or like the dark parts of it. But that's the beauty of it because it's like we can explore things in fiction that we don't have opportunities to in real life, or maybe we shouldn't. It's like there's a whole joke.
Yeah.
I think I've come across jokes where it's the things that we go feral for in our fictional men, we'd probably be red flagging it up in real life.
Absolutely.
If they were saying some of these things to me, I'd be like, "Where excuse me?"
You'd be like dialing 911, right? Like you
Yeah.
would be like phoning him in. Oh, absolutely. And I think again, art, books, media, music, it's a safe space to step outside of your reality and explore so many things. And yeah, it's a white shoes and there's a lot of things going on, but you can also learn, oh, like we were talking about, oh, emotional regulation is actually super hot. Or it's the little things that make this character fall in love with this person. Oh, he ran her a bath. That's so bare minimum, but it like is such a wonderful thing. And so people, any reader can learn from it. But I've had a lot of women readers tell me my husbands have learned so much from reading books like this, and not even just these sexual scenes. It's those little things that these
Yeah.
men do, not the I'm going to go cut this person into pieces because he
Right.
looked at you wrong. But he ran her a bath. He got her a snack. He made her a forethought, which is
Yeah.
one of the sexiest things I think you can do as a
Yeah.
human
Just
being is show your
anticipating.
partner that you are a forethought. I have thought about you. I know you don't like
Yes.
almonds, you like peanuts or whatever it is. And so I didn't put any out, or I know that you're exhausted, so I'm not going to try to move on you right now. And
Yes.
so I think those are things that we can learn, even if it is something completely outside of our realm. Okay, you have four partners instead
Yeah.
of one, or you're in a dark motorcycle club with lots of murder happening, but yet you're still falling in love. I think that's something that there's still little things that we can always learn and take from the art. And that's been something I've really loved hearing is that no, they listened to this audiobook. My husband listened to this and he got XYZ out of it. And I'm like, that's fantastic because that's what it's intended for. Besides this, an escape, besides a fun escape, you can draw little
Yeah,
like
and, like,
kernels
I
of
think
stuff.
that's so many like, that conversation definitely is happening, but I think that's, like, when sometimes the conversation steers towards shaming or be like, "Oh, unrealistic standards." It's what? To anticipate her needs, or to think about her, or to, like
Right.
or to communicate, finding a way to communicate? Yeah, that's I don't my husband and I didn't get this from a book, but one thing that kind of we learned, I forget where we learned it, but that was like it made me think of the example of I'm at 12% right now. Like
Yes.
I need more from you. I cannot, I'm about to lose my shit.
Yeah.
And putting
And that's
it, yeah,
healthy.
and putting it in terms where he's, "Oh, okay, I understand that. Okay, say no more. All right, I'll step in," even if he's not even if he's, all right, fine. Okay, honey." Where
Right.
but
No,
at
and
least
that's
it's something
great.
where, yeah, where he can understand, and just finding things too where, but that's an example of, like, communication and finding examples, finding things that work. It doesn't have to be sexual. I think it just reminds me of where two different, like, situations where I recommended I told my cousin he has to read Fourth Wing because he got me into reading starting the Cosmere, the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, and that's a lot of reading. And so I'm like, "Sir, I need you pick one, pick Throne of Glass or pick Fourth Wing. You're gonna read that." And he said,
Right.
"Okay, Fourth Wing's all hyped, but it's also gonna be a TV show soon." So I'll do that. And it's really funny because I'm like, if you're not comfortable with open door scenes or with like really heavy romanticism, like then you might want Throne of Glass because that's, like, less on that, less heavy on that. And so he chose it, and then he was like, honestly, he was like, "It just becomes really distracting when it's like they just wanna fuck each other all the time." I'm like, "But it's 27 pages out of a 600-page book." But he's just, "No, but even when they talk to each other, their minds speak. It's just, 'I wanna fuck you. I'm attracted to you.'" I'm like, okay, I get that, but then it's like a completely different experience with my husband where he's just, "Okay, you said there's some spicy scenes in here? Okay, cool, let's go." And he was opening the book, and he was ready for it, and I would be, like, anticipating, like, waiting for him to get to certain scenes, and I'm like and he's just, "Yeah, they went to Pound Town, what?" He doesn't he's not he's more excited about the dragons, which, fair, but that's
Right.
what kind of just reminds me of we all have these different experiences about it, and not even like comparing it amongst men. Like men can be critical, but it's come on, like it's so much more than that. And
Yeah.
like it's but I think that's just what the conversation, I think it's just so there's more people openly in the reader community being like, no, let me know how many spicy scenes are in there, and then I'll be able to tell how interested I am. Or if you just want to read a romance, a fluff romance with not much having to think about anything, there's stuff for you out there. If you want plot and scandal and corruption and greed and rebellion and all this stuff with open door sex scenes. There's stuff there for you. It's like I'm not about to that's how my take is on it. And I think it's hilarious to like just see kind of witness everybody else's like firsthand like their blank slate entrance to it because it just like reinforces how like it's a safe space, it's a different experience, it's how other people experience it, and I love it. I'll check in with my cousin every now and then. I'm like, so where you at?
Yeah.
And then but then he's a slower reader, but then my husband on the other hand, he sucked it down. He inhaled, and I got him on Throne of Glass right now, and
Oh, nice.
he's really enjoying it. It was a hard for him because I had him read Assassin's Blade first, and I know that's a
Uh,
really controversial reading order, but I read it third, so but I know the kind of reader he is. I felt like he would be annoyed if he had to go back in time and get backstory after getting to a certain point.
yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, but then once he did, he got past it. He got to because I was waiting for him to get to the end of it because I knew I was waiting for that punch. I was waiting for that punch in the heart. And he was like, I thought he was going to be around for a long time. I'm ready for the
Hmm.
next book. He was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I know.
it's
And
hard. Yeah, that's a tough one.
it was, yeah. No, and like I went off on a tangent, but that's like just like exactly what we're talking about. Like it's all different experiences and it all gives us an opportunity to explore these different things that maybe we didn't consider, we didn't think about. And then we find out like what we're into or what we're comfortable with or a
Yeah,
new way to approach situations. It's with either within romance or with just communication in general. It's like absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah, it does come down to communication so many times and just
That's
healthy
why I know
communication.
I will shake some of these characters and be like, oh,
Exactly. Yeah, like it's almost like they need to know that they're worth expressing those emotions and just worth asking for what they want or demanding it, demanding what they are worth and how they should be treated. And I feel like it's very for Riley, especially in the beginning, she doesn't think she is worth much, and that's how she got into that bad situation. And I know that definitely can play a part in real life. And
yeah.
yeah, and it definitely, again, it all comes back to that safe space that you're talking about and how that's what the books are and these stories and these characters are for is to just explore things and open our minds in ways that you wouldn't expect. And like I've had so many, like shockingly, I've had readers reach out to me that were in bad situations and had the courage to get out of them after reading this book.
Oh
And that I
wow.
never expected. Because I get a lot of, oh, it's just spice. That's all it is. And it's no, it's technically not because there's so much other nuances that you get. And they said that Riley gave them the inspiration to demand what they were worth. And to me, that just touched my heart in so many ways. And it wasn't just one, there were several messages that kept coming in. And I was like, I never anticipated that ever because it
That's
wasn't an
awesome.
intention of the book. It was just who her character was. And so, yeah, it was just like, it really made me tear up when I would read those.
Oh,
And I'm just like, it's not just spice. Like those people who are like, oh, it's just spice, and that's
no.
okay if that's what it is for you as a reader.
Sure.
But it's also okay if other readers take other things from it. Like a
Yeah.
husband saying, "Oh, I'm gonna run my wife a bath now because it works so well for Pierce." That's
Yeah.
all. Like that you can get different things out of it that aren't just, "Oh, I'm gonna go learn some sex positions." That's no. There's
Right.
so much that you can learn from it, and that's something that I just love about this community is there's been so much. I don't not growth, but just like openness about it,
Yeah.
and so that's been fantastic.
Yes, exactly how I know I keep using the word conversation, but I feel like that's what it is. It's just
Yeah,
opening.
absolutely.
Yeah. And I love that's such I bet that was like such an unexpected gift for you
It
to
was
touch readers on that level that you never anticipated. And I think that's the
never would have.
beauty of it because you didn't it was organic. Like
Yeah,
it
I
was
never that was
natural.
not on my bingo card at all for the messages that I was going to get. And it was more than one, which even further was like, okay, so Riley's story was really important and I'm so glad it touched them in that way. And then I'm glad that it reached others, just an escape for others as well. So it doesn't always have to be this big poetic epic learning experience. That's I think people put pressure on books like that. Like it doesn't always
Yeah.
have to be like, oh my whole world was changed. It's like you can take these little things and little little moments of open-mindedness or learning compound over time. And I think that's something that's beautiful about all kinds of books. And I think that's another thing that people sometimes are like, oh, all you're reading is about dragons. It's like, no, there's so much in it like that that comes out of it that you learn and take with you, and it compounds over time and makes you a better person, honestly.
Yes, 100% seriously. And it's yeah, like I said before, it's if that's what you are looking for, there's something for you, but
Yeah.
don't put this blanket generalization or you're missing the point.
Absolutely. You're just missing it. You're missing the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
So,
I know, and I was like, "Are" it was just funny, I was like, challenging my cousin a little bit, and I'm like, "I think you're just, like, too distracted by the love story that you're missing out on things, like, you don't have any questions about this and that and the other," because we all hear this like, it's such a popular series, and we all hear, like, these theories and all that, like, it's I feel like it's so saturated at this point, but some of it that's why it's so popular, some of it's so fun because 'cause you're like, "Holy shit," but I'm how is he not picking up on some of that stuff? Oh, he's just distracted by the love story, and it's that's dude, like, come
yeah.
on. But even though he's I'm gonna continue reading it. I'm gonna keep up with it, but I feel like he with Brandon, he's, like, in love with Brandon Sanderson, so I feel like that's he's his standards are a little high there, so,
Yeah, it
like,
is a different vibe. It's definitely a
it
different vibe.
'cause
But
I
you
l
learn things from that too. So it's like,
exactly. Oh my gosh. God, don't even get me started. I love Brandon. I'm on Wind and Truth. I'm finally on the 5th book, but and I've read his work before and have been totally impressed by it. And I am glad that he got me into it. But it's also it's funny how he doesn't really include much romance and it's epic fantasy, but there's not much romance in it.
yeah.
So I try to tell my friends who are into fantasy and I'm like, just so you know, I would recommend this to you, but there's not. There's hardly there's, like, kinda swoony character moments, but it's a little more humorous, but it's just matter of fact, but it's not there's no pining, there's no angst, there's no, like,
Yeah.
slow burn, there's no, come on, just kiss her." There's none of
Right,
that,
yeah.
yeah. So it's just exactly, it goes back to finding what you need, but don't be so clouded about it, you know?
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so funny. I love it. So let's see. You touched on this too. What do you hope readers get out of the Never list?
Oh yeah, so this is basically everything we've been talking about. I want readers, maybe if we put them into different groups, like readers who have never explored a why choose before, I would love for them to be able to open this book and feel safe exploring this new genre and not feel like, oh no, somebody's going to catch me reading this, or worried, like, will I be able to handle it? I feel like it is a very safe entry point. That's what the feedback I've been getting from those who thought, oh no, I can't possibly read that. Like, they've been saying, I really thought I never could, and this has completely opened a whole new section of books for me, which is always fun to learn, oh, I could actually get into this. So that's what I would hope for them and for everyone else who is looking for that really good spice, but also want to sink their teeth into a plot. I hope they get that out of it as well. And then for those who are looking for hope in a female character, that's something that Riley gave to me, which I didn't expect it. And over the course of the entire plot and getting to the end of this book, she gave me hope time and time again because she has every reason to be like bitter and jaded and just be like F it all. And she continues to show up for herself and her
Yeah.
friends and her hope for a better future. And so that's something that, again, I didn't expect when writing a why choose. And so maybe that can give that to that reader who needs that hope right now in such like chaotic times.
Yeah, that kind of reflects on your surprise like the messages that you received. You were no, like I now that you've seen how it can affect readers without you expecting it, you're like, "Oh, I hope that it can still do that for other readers too."
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
love that. Okay, I'm gonna throw this at you. This is the last tricky question I'm gonna throw at you. What advice do you have for your main 5? So advice for Riley, for
Oh
Axel,
no.
for Cal, for Jax, for Pierce.
Oh my goodness. My advice for Riley would be to breathe. She needs to breathe. She needs to really meditate and breathe. She's got a lot flying at her. And for the boys, I think it would be a collective of patience and that grip onto that regulation because there's going to be a lot thrown at them that they've never dealt with before and it can get dicey. And so that would be my advice for sure is just to regulate, breathe. We're going to get through this hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're in it now, we're
I'm in
officially
it.
on the
This
next
second
step.
book is just nothing but
Yeah, what can
chaos.
you share about the 2nd book without getting in trouble?
I'm super excited about it. I'm loving living in this world. We do get way more backstory. I know that was something that readers were looking for in the first book, and we had a lot to unpack in the first book. And so now with our character dynamics already set up, it's really awesome to be able to peel back certain layers in different scenarios. And so we're going to get more backstory of the characters, and we get to also see them working as a group. And we're going to get more backstory on the world as well, which I'm excited about.
Perfect. Oh, I love it. I love it. I know, I'm like, I didn't know I had a good idea of what to expect, but then when I got to it was really that last few pages where I was like, "Cliffhanger, what?" And then, "Cliffhanger, what?" I was like,
Yeah,
"Wait, you could have just done with just the one cliffhanger. Why did you have to throw both of them at us?" But
I
then I was like,
know.
"Okay, I'm still gonna pick up the second one."
It's just I feel like Riley, man, that's her it's her lot in life to just have it all thrown at her at once, man. Like it just came and then the two beats just happened and I was like, "Oh no, this is going to go down a certain kind of way."
It did fit after like when I had time to reflect on it, I was like, okay, I get it. I was like, but still I was like mad for a hot
Oh
second. I was like,
yeah.
wait, why?
I've gotten a lot of those messages too. Like, "Why do this to me?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I just ran out of ink. That's all. That's all
Right.
I did."
That was be sorry, not sorry. I'm glad
Yeah.
it like that's the reaction that I need. Like that's the reaction I was going for.
I always say, I promise I'm working on book two now. It's not a year from now. I'm working on it. I don't have a release date yet, but the minute I do, I'll tell everybody, and
Yeah.
hopefully it won't be so long that everybody's super mad.
I would hope that we know how to be patient by now.
Like we
We're
need
like,
it yesterday. I'm like,
yeah.
wait, I
Like,
promise.
I do some of the stuff that you're posting on social media. Like I liked how you gave them all your men a little feature of what I think it was like what song they would be and what character from another series would be their bestie or what animal they would be. I'm like, yes, like a little stuff like that where if you're like, I can't really give more to you, but this is what I can give you. And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I love that. I love
Those
that.
are always fun.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so Jade Presley, where can we find you online and on social media?
So I'm on Instagram and TikTok the most. I do have a Facebook, but if you're wanting like a response from me, Instagram or TikTok are the way to go. Like I do my best to respond to every message, every comment. If I don't respond, it's probably because I honestly didn't see it. It got buried. So if it's something important, just DM me again. But that's where I am the most. It's just the two that I found I connect most with readers. So I'm there, or you can go to my website and sign up for my newsletter where I do about one a month, and sometimes I'll do special giveaways. Like I just did a giveaway. Jake Bordeaux signed a copy of the Neverlist for me, and he's amazing. I got to meet him. He did my audiobook, and I just adore him. And so that was really fun to give that to readers. And so just little things like that. But that's where you can find me.
Perfect. Yeah, I think I saw that one and then I saw the one where in the giveaway you included like swag from the tea shop that you slipped into
Yeah,
your story. I love
I
that.
did. It was a real, yeah, ephemeral. It was just wonderful. And so I thought that was so fun to have that shirt included because it was such an important setting for me in the Emerald Wood because she gets to reconnect with her friends for the first time in months. And so, yeah, I thought that'd be fun for readers to have. So, yeah, I do little things like that in my newsletter. Or I'll just say, hey, I'm working. I've got nothing for you. I'm sorry. And then go back to work.
Yeah, even that, like, that scratches that itch for a hot second. At least, like,
Exactly.
they heard from you. They heard from you. You're keeping the
Yes.
conversation going. Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta do what you gotta do. You're
absolutely.
only writing a hugely popular book that everyone's anticipating. So
That's so
give
much,
your give
yeah. I'm still just so blown away and honored to have the readers that I do. They're the best. They're absolutely this community is the best.
it yeah, I love that for you. I love that you're and just like not only the success, but like the connection that you're making with your readers. I love that. I think
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. It's a
I
beautiful
love it.
thing.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing. Like I love going, like I get to go to Pittsburgh next weekend and meet with readers and that's going to be so much fun. It's so much fun making those connections over our genuine love of the written word. It's
Yeah.
so great. It's such a nerdy heaven.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. I love you find your people.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're ever in the Chicago area, make sure to announce that so I can because that's where I am at, and I'll be there with bells on, be like, "Jade!"
Oh, nice. I love that. Yeah, I would love to go to Chicago. I haven't. I'm still getting adding dates as I can
Yeah,
and things like that. So yeah, Chicago would be really fun.
no worries. You've got time if you've got, like how many books are you planning for, by the way, if you feel safe to share that?
Yeah, so I've planned three.
Okay.
I never say never because like my characters sometimes do love to take me on a side quest. So I've planned 3, but if the story is not complete by the time we get to midpoint in book 3, then obviously we will course correct.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
You
3
can
right now.
explore different things, slip a novella in there, whatever
Yeah.
you feel is right for you. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's kind of the point I was making. If you've got a series going on, then you have opportunities to explore pit stops and along the way. Just use it as an excuse to come to my neck of the woods and I'll keep up with you. But yeah, so Jade
Absolutely.
Presley, yeah, The Never List, that book is available now. Thank you so much for all your answers, for giving me so much time and letting me pick your brain and ramble on about your work and gush about it and all that good stuff. Yeah, like I said, if you're ever in the Chicago area or if and when you're ready to book chats for the next book or the third one or whatever, feel free to keep me in mind. Feel free to reach out. I'd love to chat with you again.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a delight talking to you, and I'll definitely be back for book 2 for sure.
And there you go. That was Jade Presley talking about her book, The Never List. That book is available now. Check out the show notes where you can find links to purchase the book and where to find Jade online and on social media. Also, please find Cantina Book Club online and on social media as well. Rate, review, subscribe. Hop on over to the Cantina Book Club YouTube channel to find clips and videos categorized by genre and by specific authors. And I'm always adding more clips there. If you need more book recommendations, check out cantinabookclub.com. I'm covering all sorts of genres, and this year was a busy one, so I'm excited for you guys to check those out. If you do a particular author and their work, you can help them out immensely for free by heading over to Amazon and Goodreads to give them a rating and review. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening.